the analysis for different indices and then different scripts, then we have to keep on copying the option table and then keep on extracting these values, which might sometimes become a little tedious. So in that case, what we have to do is we have to automate this entire content, so that just based on some small clicks or change in data, I think we can be able to see the data which we want. So how do we do that? So for that, what you need to have is an Excel, and then just open an Excel. So let's open an Excel. Yeah. So let's start with the index. So we will type Nifty here, and then what we can do is you have to right click on the page anywhere and then select an option called as inspect. So once you click inspect, a window opens like this. So click network option. So you'll find so many entries here. So as a startup, what you can do is you can clear all of this. So once you click clear, I think everything will be cleared. So then you go back to the page again and you see this option chain, right? So you have to click the option chain there, and then again go back to the window which gets open. So you'll find three entries. So for that, you need to only select the second entry here. So, so once you click the second entry, you'll see something like this. So you have to scroll down to the request headers here, and then find an entry called as cookie, and then to copy the entire content of it till here. Just copy this, and then you open an Excel. So paste this cookie content in the second cell. Remember to paste it in the second cell of the sheet. Okay. So once you paste the entire cookie content, just on the row above, just name it as cookie, and then just go back to the web page again. And then you have to copy the request URL from here. You can see this. This is the request URL. You just copy it, and then you can paste the URL somewhere here. Okay. So just do a little formatting so that you can view the content big and clear. Okay, so this is your URL. So what you have to do is, so once you copy the cookie here, so you select both the rows and then say data from table and then say OK here. So Power Query window opens. Yeah, Power Query window like this opens, and you have the same values here. So what you got to do is you click on the second entry here on the cookie value, right click and then say drill down. So once you drill down, you can only see the cookie content. So this is what we wanted. Okay, then what you can do is we want to convert that into a function. So what you can do is just right click and then say create function out of this automatically, and then say create, and then just give a name. Let's say get cookie. I'll say okay. So what happens is the Power Query editor will create a function for you, and then once you click and go, the output comes as a cookie. So this is how you can convert the cookie value into a function. Okay. So like the way we have done for cookie, so similarly we have to do it for URL. So you can create a function, so you can use the same process. So once that is created, what you have to do is go to data table again, and then say new query from sources, and then say blank query. Okay. So then what you can do is you just copy this code. I'll put this code in the description. Just copy the entire code and then just say advanced editor and then paste it inside this one. Okay. So if you can carefully observe in the advanced editor, we have hard coded the URL. So instead of giving the URL like this, so what we can do is we'll just say get URL as a function. Okay, so like the way we have parameterized the URL, so similarly we can do this for the cookies also. So what you can do is you can just remove the cookie entire content here and then say just get cookies as a function. Okay, so then you should be able to get the same thing again, but with both the functions which you have created earlier. So if you can see, I think this is looking good. So then what we have to do is we have to click records here, and then correspondingly we can get the data list. We can click list here against the data. Then we can find a list of all records. You have to go to the transform menu and then convert this entire thing to a table. And do not tamper the default values. Just click OK. So once you click OK, there is an expandable arrow here. Just click it. So then you can see what are all the contents which we have scraped from the website. So just say OK. Then you can see the strike price, expiry date, PE records and CE records. So then we can expand this one, this PE, and then you do not want all these columns. So what you can do is just uncheck all of this, and then only select the requirements, which is like open interest, change in open interest, implied volatility, and maybe a last price. Okay, and then say OK. Just rename this. This is puts open interest. This is change in put open interest. This is puts implied volatility. This is puts last traded price. Similarly, we will do it for the calls. So because if we see the normal option chain table, the calls will be on the right side and the puts will be on the left side. So what we can do, we can rearrange them. Okay, and then we'll put the expiry date onto the last side. So now we have the entire option table and then the required data for our analysis. Okay, so then what you can do is you have to put, because if you can see, I think we have data for multiple expiries. So what we can do is we can filter it for the current expiry, so which is like at 11th of February. So I'll say I'll filter it with 11th of February and then say OK. Then only the data pertaining to the expiry will be shown. So what I can do is I will say load to a particular sheet and then convert this to a table and then check this, add this data to the data model and then say load. So what it does is creates a new sheet and then loads the entire thing there. Okay, so we have the option chain table for Nifty. So now what we can do is we have to have the max call change away, like we discussed in the previous video. So for convenience purpose, to make the video a little shorter, I have copied the formula here in the background. I'll put this formula in the description so that you can have them and then you can use it. So now with all the expected values, we are able to get these strike prices. So just to cross check, if I'm changing this to Bank Nifty, we should be able to get the corresponding strike prices. You have to refresh this. Just say refresh. So once you see the table is refreshed here, if you go back to these are the things which are automatically changed. So a couple of important things which we have to remember is that so till the time you want this data in the Excel to be refreshed on a periodic basis, uh, this window wherein you got the cookie and the URL from has to be open. So if you close this, you have to again do the same process of getting the cookie and then update the cookie here in this Excel corresponding in the corresponding cell. So this is really important. The option table, we just say right click and then we do a refresh. So this is a hard refresh. So if at all you want to do it on a periodic basis, what you can do is to just go to the connections and then find the connection which is against the option chain table, and then go to the properties of that, and then say refresh every 5 minutes, and then say yeah, that should be good. So once you do that, so every 5 minutes till this window is alive, so till this window is open, I think it will refresh on a periodic basis mentioned in the connections menu. So like that we have done for both Nifty and Bank Nifty. So similarly, if at all you want to do it for different kinds of stock, watch my next video. I'll try to share that information in my next video. Hopefully you have liked this video. If you have liked this video, please subscribe and share it to as many as people. Thank you.